Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic. Thanks for joining me. This is chapter 5 of my 8-part series where I am stash busting throughout September. Now, before we get started, today is all about kits. And this is actually the reason that got me thinking about stash busting, because I seem to amass so many collections and kits. A little video of where I keep 9 of my main kits. These are the kits that I love and use all the time, and I've got these hard rigid 12x12 storage boxes. Now they cost $10 each, and you can see they take up quite a bit of space as well in my Kallax units. So I can't possibly have a full Kallax unit just of those for every collection, especially as some collections come and go. So what I want to do today is obviously focus on stash busting. So that means a couple of things to me. First of all is reviewing some of the kits that I've got and deciding whether I just disperse the items back into my general stash, or whether I want to keep it as is and then maybe replenish some supplies as well. So you'll get a flavour of what I mean as we go along. But what I've done here, I've just got a couple of drawerfuls of kits in my Alex drawers, which I want to clear out. It's just getting fuller and fuller. It's hard to open the drawers. So this is what I want to focus on today. So benefits will obviously be saving storage, but I'm also hoping the benefits are I'm going to start using some of this stuff as well. So I'll start with a couple of these. These I've had a little while, but you can see this is Simple Stories and it's a fall collection, and I've got heaps of this. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy that this stays in this little 12x12 pocket. This is a good way of storing them, and then they can sit vertically on my shelf. So this kind of stuff I'm going to leave as is. And this is another one. This is all my Echo Pack stuff, my doggy stuff, which again I've still got quite a lot of. I like the way they're contained in these little envelopes because all of my scraps stay there as well, so I don't lose any bit of that. But then we get on to my latest obsession, digital kits, which I think I will do a future video on because I'm finding I'm loving these more and more, but that's the subject for another day. Because I've run out of the sleeves, the pockets and so on, I've now started reusing some of the packaging that I always keep anyway. So you can see I've just stored this particular digital kit in an old, I must have ordered some 12x12 sheets from somewhere. So this is some old packaging that I've got. And this is what I need to sort out. This one is similar, it's in old packaging, but it's a mix of digital kits, but also the sticker books. So some of the ephemera pieces are physical, but a lot of the papers are digital. This is another one, this Fresh Bouquet, I absolutely love this, but this is all digital. And again, I've just used a pocket for that. And you can see here, I'm moving on now to some, this is kind of bits and bobs that I've got over time. These are all the Everyday Musings collection, which I acquired kind of in kits. So again, I feel like that's one thing that I'll definitely sort out. And then if you saw my recent craft haul, you'll know that I got the Snowflake collection. So this is actually gonna be a quick one because that can go straight into my new Christmas tub. So I've got a really useful box that I keep all of my Christmas stuff in. So this can go straight in there. And another one, Magical Forest. There's a lot in this. Now, before I move further on, you will remember, if you saw my paper scraps video, the first one in this series, that by sorting out all my paper scraps, it actually gave me this We're Memory Keepers expandable 12x12 file. Gave me this back to use. So I've already started, I've got some Willow Lane in here at the front. So where I've got some collections but maybe not a lot of, my plan is to fill this expendable file. So at least then they're all kind of in one place and they should sit a bit neater on my shelf. That is another option for me. And then of course I come to some other kits. This is the one that I got free from the craft retreat that I was on recently. I obviously still want to keep it as is because it's a full kit not being used. But yeah, I'm not sure even when I'm ever going to get around to using that. So that's something else you might find in your stash where you've got things from things that you've been given or things that you've bought and not even touched yet. I know, for example, I've got a whole stash of Disney stuff, including the 12x12 album, that I'm never ever going to get around to using and putting together for my kids. Another one in a nice hard case, the Pink Fresh, and then this is obviously the Bloom Street. So in terms of those are some examples. I've also got these. Now these are the ones I'm going to focus on today. I absolutely love citrus twist kits, especially these little pockets, pouches they come in. But I've already repurposed some of these pocket pouches and then put the collections in these little bags to make sure I don't lose them. So you can see I didn't have an awful lot of that collection left, but what I did have, I just stuck them all in this little baggie. Same with this. All at varying degrees. This one I've already repurposed. This is on my EcoPark craft stuff. So what I want to do today, and I'll put you on fast forward while I do this, I'm going to basically deconstruct these kits and put all of the papers with my papers, all the die cuts with my die cuts, and so on. So then if I do want to use any of the bits that come out of this, I've got them to hand and I don't have to go in search of them, because I can never, you know, you don't remember what you've got in these kits. So once you've used them, it's just as well to make use of them. They come with alphas, they come with lots of different parts to these kits, which you'll see as I start to dig in. So I'll start to separate these off. The other thing I did want to touch on though, before we head off into that, is don't forget you can always rebuild these kits. You may find as you're going through one, you actually love some of the bits and the colour tones. Why not, if you've already got a stash full of things like stickers or so on, add those into here and keep them. So whichever way works for you, but the idea it really is to start working on some of our scraps and making sure we've just not got things locked away in a drawer that we're never going to use. Now what I'm also going to do as I go through this is, if there's anything that I feel I'm not going to make use of and I don't need, I'm actually going to put them in a little bit of a destash pile. I'm separating out the die cuts, the vellum, these kind of puffy stickers. Broad pieces, I'm really not a big fan of these, so these will definitely go towards destash, or they're just going to be placed off camera, as are any alpha stickers that I come across as well, and they can go straight into my alpha pile. And of course citrus twist kits do give you stamps as well as part of their kits. I have to say these are the best stamps I've ever come across all the brands. They're amazing. So I'm going to keep those off camera as well, and then they'll go with my stamp stash. And these are the 6x8s that I mentioned as well in my first video that I will keep separate and put with my stash. These I can go with my journaling cards. So at this stage I'm not worried too much about sorting out the die cuts, because I'll do that as I place them in to the tubs based on colour. That's when I'll kind of review them and decide if I want to keep them or not. And it's similar with these pieces as well. That's when I'll kind of go through and actually question if I want to keep them or put them in the pile to give away. Now, although I've not covered this off previous video, these little labels, I do have a separate stash just of these all in one spot. So when I do sort through these die cuts, any of these will go in that location, as will any of these sentiment strips as well. So I've got all the quote strips in one place. So I just wanted to quickly show you before I put all of this away that I sorted it into a few different piles. So all of these acetate pieces, the vellum strips were separate. I've got all of these die cuts that I'm now going to go through and sort them by the sentiment. There's an awful lot of love hearts, so I'll keep those separate as well. I've got these little drawers from Kmart actually, where I keep all of my enamel dots and stuff. So I'll sort those out as well, put them in there by colour. The tags and things will go in their own location. I've got a pile of stamps and put with the rest of my stamp stash. And then I've got all my alphas, as well as some sticker sheets. Saw me sort through my sticker books already, so these can go with those. And stuff that I no longer need will go in my big tub for destash. So these, for example, are a couple of things that I know I won't use. So I am going to carry on tidying this up for the rest of the day. I think it will take me the rest of the day, and then I'll check back in with you when I've finished. I'm back, and this has probably took me about 4 hours to organise, so definitely be prepared for that if you're going to go through your stash as well. I'm pleased that I've done it though, because I've actually come across some things that I've forgotten I'd got, and even some layouts that I'm already in the middle of creating, like this one for example. So what I've done, you can see I've almost filled this. I've got a couple of spots left only, but this is basically papers and stamps, dies, ephemera that all go together that I think I can still make use of in one collection. Anything that I thought I wouldn't be able to do, there's not enough of the collection, I've just dispersed within my stash. I just want to quickly show you, this is actually growing, my paper tub. Although I have been working through it, it feels like I'm not, because I've added extra bits. You can see a lot more of these 6x8s. I've added a lot more of 3x4 as well. And I've probably done the same as well with my journaling cards. I've probably done a little bit of a backward step with those, because as I've got rid of those citrus twist kits, there's lots of journaling cards come out of that. And yes, I have still done kind of a bit of a cleanse. Do I still want to keep it or not? And speaking of which, let me show you. This little pile is growing, so I've decided to keep it all in here for now. So a lot of the die cuts from those kits were here, a lot more journaling cards, even though the rest of them weren't put in this tub. So I'm going to keep this, see how big this amasses. You'll see at the end of the month when I do my review video just how much I do put to one side that I'm not going to use. But the good news is, from today, I've actually cleared out one drawer completely. And then similarly on my shelf, it's not as crowded as it was now. It looks a bit tidier, because all I'm going to have is this rather than all of those other kits squished in. So I've freed up some space. The purging went really well. So I hope this video gave you some inspiration if you've got collections or kits that you've had a while. A good opportunity to have a look through and rekindle your love with them, or make the decision to let them go to somewhere else that will enjoy them. But thank you for watching today's video. Tomorrow's video you'll actually get me to see me do some creating, so I'm actually going to start to use some of these on camera. So join me for that, and have a great crafting weekend.